My goal is to get out and walk every day. Well, every day this week. Friends, we're walking, but I thought we could walk and talk for a while. I know the neighbors are going to be looking at me like I'm out my mind. So, and I sound a little froggy, I think. So I don't know. We'll see how long this goes. I want to talk about some holiday things. So it's been brought to my attention that I may have dropped the ball a little bit by not discussing how we're going to deal with Halloween candy and, you know, the eating of the Halloween candy. Well, by the time you see this, we will be a week out of Halloween. And y'all, honestly, I had something of a plan, but I don't know, maybe it wasn't the best plan. My plan was to wait until we got past Halloween and talk about holiday eating in general, because I feel like holiday parties and other holiday events can be just an absolute pitfall for a diet or healthy lifestyle plan. So that's what I want to talk about, how we can continue our healthy lifestyle plan through the holiday season. And y'all, I have a plan for us. So we're gonna go to holiday parties. There's gonna be food and temptation, but if we go in with a plan, we're more likely to make good choices and not sabotage the success that we've been having. Obviously, we can't plan for everything that's gonna happen because there's an X factor that we just can't know about, which reminds me, y'all, I was at a closing one time. I'm a realtor and I was at a closing. I was talking to the lender. It was a lender that I worked with a lot, and we were telling the client that if all went right, that she and I would have nothing to do. We would just sit there and visit, and that the closer would do all the work. She said, you know, barring anything unforeseen, we would have nothing to do. The client, who was very type A, sort of uptight, an engineering type, if you know what I mean, said, anything unforeseen? Like what? And she and I just looked at each other like, well, if we could foresee it, we'd already dealt with it. And same thing with parties, right, y'all? There are gonna be things at parties that you just can't plan for, but we can make a plan going in and try to stick to that plan as much as possible. So here are some things you can think about before you head out to a holiday party. I have 5 tips and some little bonuses to help us get through the holiday season without completely derailing any progress that we've made. Typically, the food at holiday parties is not very healthy, and it's not presented in such a way that it's easy to manage. You have buffets, you have hors d'oeuvres, you have teeny tiny little bite-sized thises and that's. Y'all, that's what we call BLTs. A bite, a lick, a taste. Those will absolutely derail any kind of healthy eating plan if you're not careful, if you don't keep an eye on them. Because you take a bite here, you take a little lick of this, you take a little taste of that, and you have no idea how many calories you've consumed. And the same thing happens at any kind of buffet, right? You go through a buffet line, a buffet at a party, any kind of buffet, and you get a little of this, little of that. You have those little bitty plates. Nothing looks scary on a little bitty plate, right? How bad could it be? That's called portion distortion. And we're gonna avoid that by any time you possibly can, get a normal size plate, like a dinner plate. Use that to dip the food that you're gonna eat, and only eat that food. Do not go back. At least do that when you can do so in a socially appropriate manner, right? Like, I mean, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do at a party. And tip number 2, focus on what you like. When you're dipping your plate, get things that you like. Don't feel pressured to try everything or get a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and then you end up with a plate full of stuff that you don't like, and you're eating a whole ton of calories, and it's just not worth it. So focus on getting food that you like. While we're at it, focus on protein. Lean proteins if possible. Protein will help you feel fuller longer. So when you're dipping your plate, try to focus on dipping protein dishes, and obviously lean protein when at all possible. Tip number 3, do not skip meals. Let me say it again for the folks seated far away that cannot hear me. Y'all, don't skip meals. Often we think it's a good idea on a party day to skip meals so that we save those. Sorry, I'm holding my camera with one hand, so I only have one hand for air quoting. We skip meals so we can save those calories. Don't do that. Pre-game, right? Remember back in the day when you'd be going to a party and you'd have a few drinks beforehand to get yourself ready? Same. So pre-game, eat something before you go to the party. Eat something light and filling so that you're not, Y'all, it's like going grocery shopping when you're hungry. So don't get there famished and eat everything in sight. You will make bad choices. Pre-game before you go. Do not skip meals the day of the party. Oh, I lost count. What number are we on? Was that number 3? Okay. Number 4, that was actually 3 and 4 rolled together. Don't skip meals the day of the party and pre-game. So prepare yourself before you go. Number 5, when you get to the party, if there's any sort of buffet or anything where you prepare your own plate, get to the back of the line. Here's why. No, not so you can watch and see what food other people take so you know what's good. Y'all, that's ugly. You don't want to be the first one to sit down and start eating, because if you do that, then you're going to be the first one done. You're sitting there at a social gathering with an empty plate and you feel like you have to get up and get seconds, because you don't want to be sitting there in front of an empty plate because it's awkward. Instead, let other people go before you. You can sit there in the line and chat. Things are not awkward. It's all normal. Then when you get your plate and sit down, other people have already started eating. Then you just start eating along with them. Pay attention and eat slowly. Then your mama tell you chew your food 100 times or whatever it is. Chew thoroughly so that your body recognizes the signs that you're getting full. You don't overeat, and by the time you're done eating, everybody else is done eating too, so you're not sitting there in front of an empty plate feeling like you got to go back and get some more, so that you continue to eat with your friends. All right, so that's what we're gonna do when holiday parties start coming. What do we do right now? We have a house full of candy. Y'all, we need to focus on harm reduction. You're gonna eat some candy, but don't eat all the candy. And like we're doing with our holiday parties, focus on the ones that you like. Y'all, don't be eating the dots and the Zots and bottle caps. Eat candy that you like. Don't waste calories or points or whatever it is that you count on things that aren't worth it. So focus on harm reduction and just do the best you can. Y'all, that's what we need to be doing all the time. Just focusing on harm reduction and doing the best that we can. So that was 2 miles at an absolute snail's pace, but that's all right. I did my regular Peloton workout this morning, so I probably need to go inside and stretch before everything tightens up. But y'all, I just wanted to show you, look at what an absolutely beautiful day it is. I wanted to take advantage of this lovely weather before it turns, because y'all, it's coming. But I'm gonna go inside, get my stretch on, and then, I don't know, put on something for dinner. So I will see y'all in a minute. Bye now. Y'all, I have walked, I have stretched, now I need to make some dinner. And I am going to focus on our new plan of harm reduction. I found some recipes for some chicken bubble up. It's like chicken pot pie, but in like a casserole dish. So I am gonna alter the recipe and try and make it more diet friendly. I'm gonna be kind of making this up as I go along. I have an idea in my head, but the idea is for the intern to have this for dinner. And he doesn't have a whole lot of, well, it's not all that good, but it's healthy, so I'll eat it in him. So it's gotta be good. So I've already cooked the chicken. I took 2 pounds of chicken. I took out 1 breast because I'm gonna grill that later and just eat some grilled chicken. And I cut it up into bite-sized pieces. And then I cooked that down. I steamed it well with some garlic and basil because I want to make sure the chicken is in individual bite-sized pieces. I didn't want it to clump all together. So that's mostly cooked. It might be a little bit raw still, but it's going to cook a while more in the bubble up, so that's fine. So now we got to make the sauce. And I kept the liquid from the chicken, which looks gross, but it's got a lot of garlic and basil flavor in it. So I'm going to start with that and a bunch of water, and I'm going to add some chicken better than bouillon to that. Gonna add some cornstarch to this and start to thicken it up. The bubble up recipes that I've seen, almost to the one, call for a can of some kind of cream of soup, cream of chicken, cream of whatever soup. And y'all, I don't want to use a cream of soup. So I'm going to add some cornstarch, which I have dissolved in water so that it doesn't clump. And I'm gonna see how that goes. I might end up adding some more better than bouillon because this is going to be the base of my bubble up. It's like the, you know, the creamy in your chicken pot pie, so it's got to be tasty. So I'm going to let that boil and see what I've made so far. Y'all, I have that low-fat buttermilk that I used in my salad dressing recipe. I think I'm going to add some of that to cream this up a bit. It's starting to smell like something, y'all. I think I'll start adding things and see what we got. I'm going to add the chicken in. So that's part of my concern. I don't want to thicken it up too much. I'm going to throw in some frozen corn and peas. All right, y'all, I added some more cornstarch. I put in a little more better than bouillon, and I think we are about where we're gonna be. I might let it cook down just a little bit more. And then look what I'm gonna do. I got some croissant. All of the recipes for bubble up that I've seen call for biscuits. Like the Womp biscuits that you womp on the side of the counter and they go and you bake them. I'm gonna use croissant and try to make it a little more diet friendly. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, I don't know. My plan was to pour this into some kind of casserole and use that, but now I'm thinking I might just do it in this pot, lay my croissant across the top, stick it in the oven and see what comes out. I don't know, I'm gonna do something. I'll let y'all see before it goes in the oven. So clearly I went with the rectangular casserole dish. I figured a shallower dish would maybe let it, I don't know, cook and bubble more. I'm gonna put it in a 375-degree oven for a while and see what comes out. There we go, y'all. I think I'm gonna call that a success for a first try anyway. There are some things I might do differently the next time, like I might put some more croissant dough on the top, but I'm not sure because that cooked up well, but I think if it were any more stuck together, it might not have. We'll see how we like it for dinner, but for a first try, I think that looks pretty good. Y'all, thank you so much for coming to my channel. If you haven't already done so, subscribe and hit that notification bell. I upload new content every Monday. Catch you next time.